Welcome to a special Never Wers podcast. Uh, it is myself and my brother Tim, myself being Jack Brown, your host today. We were gonna have Tom. Um, he scheduled this and then he didn't show up. So,
What else
great
is
job,
new?
Tom. How to prioritize the pod that we're trying to build.
Thankfully, he did give
Anyways,
us a ridiculous Google document to go off of.
let's back it up a little bit. We are here to talk about. We're gonna tier up the coaches. We're gonna talk about all 32 coaches in our NFL preview here. And what Tom did provide us was he gave us, uh, all the coaches' names in a fun little tier that we can kind of talk about and see if we like them in that tier, see if it's unfair. And Tim, I think we start at the guys at the bottom, and let's just dive right into it here.
All right.
Um, Tom has this classified as guys who are afraid to hear the phone ring. You out there may know that as coaches on the hot seat. But let's go over this. You just deleted one of them.
Ooh,
Why are you making changes to the doc?
I didn't delete anything.
All right, good. Afraid to hear the phone ring. First one up, Zach Taylor of the Bengals.
I would agree with Tom's assessment.
You would.
They, but they still haven't done anything to their offensive line. I don't think Zach Taylor's a bad coach. I don't think changing the
Uh-huh.
coach is going to make the offensive line be able to protect Joe Burrow, who's also made of glass.
Hmm. Well, I understand what you're saying. However, there's two reasons I don't agree, or excuse me, there's one reason I don't agree with the afraid to hear the phone ring, and that's because I don't know if you remember Mr. Marvin Lewis,
Mm.
who hung on probably about 5 seasons too long. The Bengals do not give coaching contracts and then fire their coach. He is under contract till after the 2027 season. He is going to remain the Bengals coach that way. Mike Brown is possibly the cheapest owner in all of sports. Uh,
Yeah.
he's not going to fire Zach Taylor. He's owed too much money. He's not going to take a dead hit on money like that. Coaches' contracts are guaranteed in the NFL.
Ask the
Those
Raiders.
guys,
I think they're
yep.
still paying three of them.
Yeah, no kidding. So Zach Taylor, he's going to be there. However, I do agree with the fact that he should be feeling that seat warm up because him and Joe Burrow, Tim, and I'll say it, they've been dining out on that 2019 run for 7 years now.
Yeah.
Like, Joe Burrow is not an all-pro player anymore. He's going to
Well,
have to prove it. You know who's an all-pro? Jamar Chase, who plays outside of him. But Joe Burrow's, he can't stay healthy. He's like Deshaun Watson level of not playing football.
oof.
Um, anyways, but yeah, listen, Zach Taylor stinks as a coach. I don't think the Bengals are very good. I don't, the real thing is, I don't think the AFC North is that good. I think it gets a lot of credit for being tougher than it is.
I will
Um,
say I lost my belief in the Bengals being good when Jacoby Brissett and the Patriots beat them in that week one 3 years ago. They
Yeah.
were
I mean,
healthy.
there's new coaches in almost every position except for the Bengals in that division. So maybe something will change. I don't know. We'll talk about those coaches in the next tier, but let's just keep rolling here, Tim. And Tom, you're gonna have to do a lot of fancy editing here because I really butchered that. Uh, Todd Bowles of the Bucks.
Uh, no, I disagree. They've
Yeah.
been they've been in the mix for 3 years.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Did the Bucks win the NFC South last year?
I believe they did, right? Well, they were on a tear, and then after that Patriots loss, they went into a swoon. But
Patriots exposed them. Yeah. They finished second. The Panthers made their run.
which
All
was
right, so that's
outrageous.
good. They did 8-9. I think they started out like 7-1 or something like that. So I can see why he'd put them in this tier. That's pretty rocky to lose there. That division sucks hard. Sucks real
Worse
hard.
than the NFC North. Are we going to do divisions at some point, or should we stop using all this content?
No, I mean we gotta run it up.
I know
Um,
our manager isn't here, so we can
no,
pretty
he's
much do
fine.
whatever we want.
He'll be fine. Um, no, so I don't think they're a very good division. Yes, I think they're worse in the AFC North and definitely worse in the NFC North. Um, but I think that if he has another season where they start out real bad and Mayfield wants a quarterback or wants a new contract, um,
Which he does.
that's not really a Todd Bowles problem, but it's something that Todd Bowles will take the heat for. NFL coaches do not have a big shelf life. So I think if he blows another one, and the Panthers are getting better, they obviously beat him in the division last year, and the Saints are on the march. I think this is a good place for him. I'd be worried if I was Todd Bowles.
I Yeah, okay. I understand what you're saying where I think there's other franchises that get rid of coaches faster.
Okay.
I and that's how I look at the list. I think it's more on the owner than what's actually happening on the field.
Yeah, okay. I see what you're saying there.
Some people run through coaches where I guess we're going to come up on them in the next tier.
Yeah, the Cleveland Browns is who you're talking to.
Yeah. I just so I guess we'll see. I don't all the teams in this tier outside the Jets, I think tend to hold on to coaches too long.
Hmm.
Maybe the Colts are,
So just as you know what, now that we look at this, I mean, we're talking 8-9, 9-8, 10-7, 8-9. That's what he's been in Tampa Bay. So 35 and 33. Uh, he's won the NFC South 3 years in a row. However, one and done every single playoffs.
yeah, I mean, I don't think he's that great of a coach. He's a good defensive coach.
Yeah. But he's
Um,
been with Tampa Bay since 2019. He was the clear choice to take over for Bruce Arians. So maybe you're right. Maybe it's something like they want to build a system here around Todd Bowles in Tampa.
and they should pay Baker.
Yeah, there's not a lot of QB1s just out there. And
Right.
here, interesting, just going to take this back a little bit. Had a fantasy draft on Saturday. Um, if you don't get one of the top 15 quarterbacks, you are scrambling late
Yeah,
in the day. There's not a lot out there. So yeah, they should probably sign Baker back. All right, anything more to say about Todd Bowles?
no,
All right, this is a guy, Tim, next up on the list, a guy that, I just don't get.
nope.
I just don't get the Dan Quinn stuff. Never have. Um, got a lot of credit for making the Legion of Boom. Like he took the credit there for the Legion of Boom. Just like I would say, this is not a fair shot at all, but Josh McDaniels took a lot of credit for the 2007 Patriots offense that had Tom Brady, Randy Moss, Wes Welker, and Dante Stallworth. I feel like Dan Quinn gets a lot of credit for Richard Sherman, Cam Chancellor, Earl Thomas, and the rest of those dudes.
And he doesn't take a lot of blame for the Falcon Super Bowl.
Yeah, well,
I mean, he
sure.
blew. He was the head
He,
coach of the Falcons,
yeah, he was. Yeah, he sure was.
and they blew a 28-3 lead.
Yeah, I mean, I think whether he wanted to take the blame or not, I think the blame got thrown on him because he's no longer the head coach of the Falcons. Um, but he's the head coach of the Commanders, who, I said it in the QB review, had a flash in the pan of
Yep.
Jaden Daniels' first rookie year. I don't think they're that good at all. Like, I think a clear favorite to finish fourth in that division. Um, maybe with the exception of the Giants. We're going to touch
Yeah.
on John Harbaugh and how little I think of him in a little bit, but I don't know. I don't see it with Dan Quinn. Haven't seen it ever. Again,
Oh,
Richard Sherman, Cam Chancellor, Earl Thomas. That makes your defense a lot easier to coach.
Bobby Wagner.
Sure. Yeah, we can keep going.
Yeah. Who was the N? Wasn't it he played for the Patriots? Not the not Martellus.
Bennett,
Yeah, Bennett,
Michael
but
Bennett. Yeah.
Michael Bennett.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was a really good defense. They had a nickname.
not good
Don't get
enough.
nicknames if you stink.
Not good enough.
Uh, nope, not in the fourth quarter. Certainly not in the fourth quarter. All right, let's just move. Tim, it might be because I'm a New England guy, right? I think I hate the Jets. Like something in my body just won't let it happen. And granted, something in the NFL air won't let it ever happen. Um, but when Aaron Glenn came over from the Lions, I remember thinking, yikes,
Yeah,
that's not a good pick.
I agree.
Um, and then he had a disastrous first season. Do you know they had one pick?
One
The
interception, yeah.
Jets had one interception. He was the defensive coordinator for the Lions when he got hired,
Yeah.
and an all-pro corner in his own right. Something's missing there. And I'll tell you what it is. It's game plan, game planning, um, game management, a quarterback, any weapons on offense, and really any defense because you sold everything to sell out for next year. So the only thing I'd say about afraid to hear the phone ring is they're banking so heavily on next year's draft and getting a quarterback out of that draft to change the franchise, but it's just not going to happen.
Now, do you think he was in those meetings? Like he's like, let's trade everybody because that buys him another year.
Yeah,
Unless
I
some
do.
hot OC comes off like a great season, they will fire him for that. Get some explosive offense. Maybe it's college, maybe it's like
Yeah, so really
Steve
great point.
Sarkisian from Texas says, I want to go to the NFL, and they have the first pick, and they're going to draft Arch Manning.
Arch.
And he's
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah. I mean, they said that about the Raiders and Signetti last year. So I think the jump from college to pros is a little crazier
Oh,
than that.
I completely agree with that. I don't
But
think a lot of college
I would
players
say
do
that
well.
your really good point is if there's an OC that rips it up this year and the Jets are floundering, which again,
They're gonna.
I don't see any reason they won't. I think it's going to be like towards the end of the season, like he's like the that Monday after the season, they fire him, and it's just like, oh, we got to look for somebody offensively to take the team, and I don't think he's going to get a shot. Kind of the Gerard Mayo. Like I mean, he's got one more year going into this year than Mayo did, but it was just like nice try, but I don't think you're ready to be a head coach yet. And they're bad. They're bad. They are, in my opinion, the worst team in the league, and have been for probably the last 5 years.
Did I delete a team? Because you know who I don't? Maybe I missed him. Oh, there he is. Okay. I was
All right,
thinking
so we're
AFC
good.
East. I was making sure. Like they're the
All right,
worst in the AFC East.
the the
The
Jets.
Jets.
Yeah, sure, sure. Yeah, 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 100%. Um, but again, I think, yeah, you bring up a really good point. The offensive coordinator thing, and they're so banking on bringing in like basically a new crop of players in this draft. They have 3 first-round picks, so that doesn't do anything for them now. And trading Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams is basically like we give up, white flag this. Let's get to 2027's draft, which again doesn't do Aaron Glenn any favors. Next one up here, Shane Steichen of the Colts. We talked about this a little bit beforehand. You're not in the he's afraid to hear the phone ring. I think I kind of am. Um, Again, new owner, and
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember the gif that went around last year of her watching the play calls and like rolling her eyes and being like, "That's what he's calling right now." But they did start off real hot with Danny Jones. But that's really the Daniel Jones roller coaster, Tim. Super
I don't.
good, and then the wheels fall off. And his wheel literally fell off. He tore his Achilles. But
I also don't know if the roller coaster's ever gotten that high before. Daniel
oh,
Jones wasn't.
that playoff game, and when he was in New York, everybody thought he was the next guy.
Yeah, and then he had to play the next season,
Yeah,
and that's why he got cut.
yeah, that's true.
So I don't. I think they'll
They
hold
chose him
on to
over Saquon,
Steichen.
Tim.
That was a mistake.
Hmm.
Um, I don't think they'll fire him. They think he's an offensive genius
Yeah,
because he was the Eagles coordinator when they had all that talent, which is kind of how the NFL goes. Like, oddly
yep.
enough, talent matters. The Colts did trade Michael Pittman, and then they signed, I don't know, what's his name?
The
Alec
guy who
Pierce
doesn't make no, they re-signed. They didn't sign
re-signed
him. They
him,
re-signed him. Yeah.
and
They
now he's hurt.
extended him to a contract that just doesn't make sense.
And he's hurt.
Oh boy. That's tough.
So,
That's tough business. I mean, I got letting the
no.
49ers, but
So I think he's safe for this year.
okay. I mean, that's fine. I don't have much to say about the Colts. I think they're uh
You were right about him last year, though. I thought they'd be the worst team in the AFC South, and you had them winning it, and they did.
did they win the AFC South?
No, but they made the playoffs because the Texans
Yeah,
wound up once.
making their run. Well, they got a new wideout target we can talk about in a little bit. All right, so that does it with Afraid to Hear the Phone Ring. Um, the next tier here is guys who really aren't gonna get fired. They just got hired, although that's what we thought about Gerard Mayo. I remember saying after the season, which was an absolute disaster, top to bottom for the Patriots when he was their head coach. I said they're not gonna fire him after 1 year. That the look of that, the politics of that is so bad.
mm.
Um, New face in a new place.
I got an
And
idea.
yeah, you want me to
So,
run through a handful of these maybe?
yeah, so there's 10 names there,
Mm-hmm.
right? I think we should rank them most likely to get fired after 1 year.
Oh, I don't want to do that.
Okay.
But I tell you
Because
what,
I
let's
think
go
there's
through
some
them.
names in there that you're gonna.
I know who you're going to say. The first guy on the list, you're not a fan of. I'm not a fan of either.
Oh, see, I disagree.
Oh, wow. Okay. The first guy here is Robert Saleh of the Tennessee Titans. Let me tell
Yeah,
you something right now. Does absolutely nothing for me. Is he a culture? We'll get to it, but is he a culture guy? Sure. And he should be the really good at one side of the ball because he's a terrific defensive coach. But other than that, his time as the Jets head coach would suggest he has no idea what to do offensively.
right. Which is why, but the reason I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt is they brought in Brian Daboll to coach up Cam Ward.
Have you seen Cam Ward this preseason?
It was rough.
It's very rough. And going into okay, so walk me through how many good, like Caleb Williams, probably the exception of the rule. When you get a rookie come in, learn a system, that guy gets fired, and you have to bring in another guy, how fast that happens. It didn't take Caleb Williams until like week 10 or 12 to grasp Ben Johnson's system, and then he really started excelling. And I think Caleb Williams is far and above a better quarterback than Cam Ward. So I think if or if Robert Saleh doesn't do anything for me, Brian Dayball does the least of any coordinator in football. If you
Really.
want to talk about a guy getting the Belichick rub, it's Brian Dayball.
I think he's good at offense. The Bills' offense was good under him, with not a lot of talent around Josh Allen. And I'm not saying Cam Ward's Josh Allen, but I think
Brian Dayball wasn't the coordinator of the Bills.
he was the head coach of the Bills.
When?
Are you kidding?
It was the
Am I wrong about
Giants.
that? Yeah, he was the head coach of the
You
Giants.
got the
He came from
you
the
said the
Bills.
Bills. I don't think he was the head coach of the Bills. I think he looks a
He
lot
was,
like Sean McDermott.
wasn't he the offensive coordinator of the Bills before the Giants head coach?
I don't think so. I think Joe Brady was.
No, I think you're wrong about that.
All right. Well, Tim doesn't understand the
Yeah,
internet or how
Buffalo
to
Bills
use it.
offensive coordinator from 2018 to 2021. That's why he got the head coaching job of the Giants.
Okay. All right, then I was wrong.
Right. I was like, what are you talking? He definitely was on the Bills. Um, I think having him take care of the offense, and Saleh working with the defense, I think they'll be decent. I don't think they're going to be good.
Yeah, agree to disagree on that. I just don't see it.
Okay.
Yeah, he's under Josh McDaniels again. I just don't. They're. I understand the leap they took last year, but I just don't. Those are guys. I don't think a coordinator brings as much to the table as the talented offense does.
What about Drake May last year?
Yeah, I just said that. It was a
Okay.
market improvement, but I think Drake May is the dude.
And you don't believe Cam? I mean, I was never a big Cam Ward fan.
I listen to this. As I should have prefaced this with before we even started. I don't think any of these coaches are important as the players they coach. Not one single person on this list is more important to their team than having a good roster.
Are you talking about all 32 or just this section?
All 32.
Yeah. Well, I
It's
think
been you know what? I don't want to relitigate. I think Brady is much more important than the Patriots and Belichick, but hey, they needed each other. That's what they'll both say. Let's move on. Now I'm getting fired up. And
you're going to
Brian
like this
Daboll
one.
defenders. I don't think I will. Next on the list, joining his old friend, Mike McCarthy, back with the Steelers. Fourth coach in the last 60 years for the Steelers. Pretty good at keeping a guy. Before we get into Mike McCarthy, I said till I was blue in the face last year. When you lose Tomlin, if that's what you just said to do, you will feel that impact. Because, like him or not, Mike Tomlin is a solid NFL coach.
Mhm.
Mike McCarthy been out of the game a little bit, Tim.
I I'm not an Aaron Rodgers guy
Sure,
at this stage of his career. And
sure.
this it smells like Aaron Rodgers said, Mike McCarthy and I worked great in Green Bay. And Tomlin wanted to take a step back, which is cool. I just don't see it. I will say their offense should be better,
Mm, mm.
but like we talked about this past week at Hampton Beach, the Steelers are the most frustrating team to watch on a Sunday. Their offensive scheme is
It's
horrific.
boring. It's very boring. Um, it's like watching a baseball team play football. It's just boring.
Two dives down the middle, Aaron Rodgers, three-step drop up the sideline, out of bounds.
So I don't understand why you think their offenses might be better.
I think, well, you
Um,
got Pittman, and now you have DK, and Fryer moves over the middle. Like, at least
well,
defenses are going to have to pay more
which
attention to
one of those
Pittman.
guys runs a 7 yard in the best? Because that's what Aaron Rodgers throws off of his three step drops.
I'm just
He
saying, like,
doesn't hold on to the ball. When
no.
he's pressured, it's really, really bad. 31 and 32 facing the pressure and all the advanced metrics for Aaron Rodgers. Like, I just don't see how Mike McCarthy being a big safety net for him is going to help him here. And furthermore, Mike McCarthy hasn't coached in the NFL like all these other guys have for the last, however, like decade or so.
No,
Um,
what? Hasn't
when
it
was
been
he on
like,
the Cowboys?
yeah, 3 years?
It was 3
2 years,
years.
maybe?
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't think so. I thought it was longer than that. But I don't know. I just don't see it. I think it's a underwhelming guy to take over. It's not. It was Chuck Noll. Then they hired a young coach named Bill Cowher. Then they hired a young coach named Mike Tomlin. So now they're going to an old established dude like Mike
He also
McCarthy.
didn't, got fired last year. He's been out for
Mike
1 year.
McCarthy?
Yeah.
From who?
The Cowboys, 1 year ago.
He was the head coach of the Cowboys 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Interesting. I got to watch more football,
This
especially if I'm
is-
going to be on these podcasts. Um, there's so much, Tim. The Red Sox are so good. Anything more to say about Mike McCarthy outside of defending his you are just the new coaches. Apparently all these 10 teams are going to make the playoffs and win the Super Bowl.
Oh, I disagree. I
Not how
disagree.
you defend these guys. Brian
I
Daboll,
think the offense will
biggest
be
mark
better.
ever.
Like the Cowboys offense was awesome while he was the head coach, and they won 10 to 13 games every year. They just sucked in the playoffs.
Tim, the Cowboys offense was better because Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb are better than Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf at this point in their careers.
I can see that. I think you're going a little hard on McCarthy and Saleh. I mean, the Saleh thing, maybe you don't like Brian Daboll,
I'm
so
not
that's your
even
problem.
there. I'm not even there with how hard we're gonna go. And it's the next guy. You ready for this? Are you want to move on from Mike McCarthy?
Yeah, I'm ready to move on. I'm looking at the list.
Next new face in a new place is the guy who, and listen, I'm not one of those dudes who says in the middle of a season a coach should get fired, right? Like, granted, it's like, oh, nobody wants to lose their job. It's a guaranteed contract for tens of millions of dollars. They're going to be okay.
Mm,
Uh, John Harbaugh criminally underused Derrick Henry to the point that he cost them home games in the playoffs. He goes to a team with a second year quarterback whose favorite activity is getting concussions, a second year running back who is the most overblown running back in recent football history, and a wide receiver number one, who is coming off a knee injury, who may or may not be the same level of explosiveness as his rookie year. That's too young a team to put a guy like John Harbaugh in charge of and think they're going to compete in a division that has the Cowboys and the Eagles in it.
yeah, I'm not a John Harbaugh guy. I'm
This
not a
was the
Harbaugh
worst.
guy in general.
The last three, the first on this list, were the three in order, uh, or no, in order from best to worst, the three worst coaching signings of the year. Saleh with the Titans, McCarthy with the Steelers, and John Harbaugh with the Giants was the worst coaching move of the year.
Maybe the we're gonna get to the next team, and I mean they haven't held on to a coach.
So, all right, the next team is the Raiders, and John Harbaugh with the Giants straight smacks of Pete Carroll with the Raiders. Old, out of touch, big name, get the fan base kind of excited. And then when he goes to coach Cam Scatabo, who is, I don't know, by all accounts, like a weird, amped up dude, he's going to see a definite culture shift.
Yeah,
I think all those three guys, with the exception of Saleh, but McCarthy and Harbaugh are too old. They're out of touch, man.
I just don't think the talent on the Giants. Like I don't know why people Jackson Dart isn't good. He can run a little bit,
He didn't get out of bounds.
and he doesn't slide.
Nope.
And Cam
Which
Scatterbo
means
is
he won't play the whole year.
right, and I agree that Scatterbo is so overrated. Like he had an awesome game against Texas in college, which is the reason
He
his
had a
name was
few
even
awesome games last year, but even still, that's because people weren't scouting him.
right.
I
Which
just
so
think this is a big name in a fancy market, and people think it's going to work.
yeah, I'm out on the Harbaugh. I'm out on
Okay.
Harbaugh.
All right, here's your boy Tim Clint Kubiak with the Raiders. And now we're going, I should say, that goes from the list of established coaches or head coaches that have had a chance. You know, Mike McCarthy won a Super Bowl. But since then, not really anything of note. So we go to head coaches that got another chance at coaching to now, well, Stefanski too, I guess. But now we're on this run of offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators getting promoted for their first coaching job. So Clint Kubiak with the Raiders.
The Raiders are paying five coaches right now. Five.
Is that
Pete
true?
Carroll, John Gruden,
Hmm.
Josh McDaniels, Antonio Pierce, and Chip Kelly, who was the offensive coordinator. So this is their sixth coach
on the payroll.
on the payroll.
Wow.
It's just, why is he going to work?
Okay. So, out
They
of all the
missed on the
teams that,
Genty pick, in my opinion.
yeah, and he's got a sprained ankle.
They have two really good tight ends.
One.
You think it's only one?
Yeah.
Bowers,
Mm-hmm.
and then the guy the year before from Georgia, not who isn't Bowers. He was decent. They don't
Michael
have any
Mayer.
wide receivers.
Yeah, not a single one.
So what I don't see it. They're just a flound like
I think he's got the longest leash here because he has a rookie quarterback that he and Kirk Cousins that he is going to bring along. And I think they hired him because he did a good job with Darnold last year. And I think he's an offensive guy that they brought in. But yeah, I don't think that um, Al Davis's son is a smart man
no.
when it comes to picking a football team. But he's got Tom Brady in his ear, and Tom Brady, saying, "Hey, Clint Kubiak's a good coach." So I don't know. We'll see on that one. I don't think they've quite missed on the Genty pick yet. I think they just didn't understand how to coach him last year. Um, and I think it'll change this year if he stays healthy.
One thing I will say about NFL coaches, the one and dones or giving them 2 years, that's not enough time. And this we
No.
see it every year. And
Yeah.
Pete Carroll was a bad signing.
Terrible.
But with
Terrible.
it, yeah. I just I don't I hope I like Mendoza. I don't know if he's going to be good. I just don't think the offense, yeah, I don't think the offensive coordinator to head coach works as well as everybody thinks.
I understand what you're saying there.
I mean, the only
Um,
one in the past couple of years you see is Ben Johnson.
oh,
Like they were successful. Sean McVay, but overall, I think the better option is going defense. But
Liam
then,
Cohen.
huh? You got choppy there.
I think Liam Cohen did a good job. I think Brian Schottenheimer did a good job last year. There's some guys out there that have done some work as an
Yeah, I
offensive
just
guy.
think that the Kubiak, like you had an awesome defense. JSN,
Hmm.
Darnold coming out of the Kevin O'Connell quarterback factory that Kyler Murray is right now.
Another offensive guy who turned into a
Um,
good head coach. So
I don't trust anything the Raiders do, so maybe it's not against Clint
I
Kubiak as
get
much
you.
as the
I get you. Yeah, yeah.
organization.
Understood. All right. So
Ties right into this
moving right
next one.
along, then this is a former coach of the year. Former coach of the year, Kevin Stefanski at the Falcons.
With all
What do
the
you got?
tools, but
Do
nobody
you know
to.
Tua Tagovailoa was in a quarterback competition with somebody who couldn't practice or play
Mm.
and lost the quarterback competition?
I just like, but
Just worth
they
noting.
have Drake London. They have talent. I would never say
Yeah.
Kyle Pitts because he was a flash in the pan. Um,
Yep. He's a
I
high
just
pick though.
yeah. I
Sure, they have one
understand
of the
there's
best
only
players in
32 of these,
football in
so if you
Bijan
get
Robinson too. I mean,
right.
they got the weapons, but listen, he's a former coach of the year, so you have to kind of expect some turnaround. I rank the Falcons as my 32nd quarterback group in football because it's Tua and Penix. Neither one of them really jump off the page. If you want, go back to our YouTube channel, see the three of us react to the Michael Penix pick because we did it in real time and it really knocked our socks off. Um, so I just don't see it. I remember saying in Penix's national championship game, the way he throws the ball is not going to translate to the NFL, and it hasn't yet. And
And it's not
Now you
gonna.
have a quarterback guru who struck out with his last three quarterbacks after giving Baker Mayfield away. Um, I would say the most interesting thing about the Kevin Stefanski pick is Baker Mayfield just calling him out instantly and just being like, "You remember when you didn't call me? I can't wait to see you twice a year." Like, so interesting there. Let's here we go, Tim. This we should spend some time on this one right here. Todd Monken. New face, new place. To a team that, just like the Raiders, just tears through coaches, shits right through them.
Right through 'em.
Todd Monken is joining the Cleveland Browns, and his first decision, first big decision, was made yesterday. And Tim, I don't know if you want to just share that with somebody. I got to plug my laptop in, so go ahead. Just share what that big decision was.
I believe it was naming Deshaun Watson the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. Also, coming from the Ravens as their offensive coordinator for the past 2 years, and their offense the past 2 years has been suspect. So I don't quite understand where this is coming from, that he's an offensive mind. I understand maybe the Browns needed a change up, but the lack of quarterback in Cleveland is what causes the problem. And Deshaun Watson certainly isn't the answer. And his press conference, where he was saying the fans are being too personal, I think maybe he should look in the mirror about that. And they should just give Shador a chance. Deshaun Watson isn't going to be
Hmm.
your quarterback of the future. I'm not a big Shador guy. I'm even less of a Deshaun Watson guy. So just
Yeah.
let Shador try. And if you're Monken, I don't understand what you could be seeing in either of them at practice that made you think Deshaun Watson, who's been out for 2 years, is a better option than Shador.
Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson has played 19 games of football in the past 5 seasons.
That's a low number.
So you got to imagine that he's not going to give you 17 games. He certainly did not have a preseason that would say he's our clear cut number one. To answer your question about what Todd Monken is seeing, he is seeing a call from his owner saying, "We gave this guy $230 million. You're going to start him,"
Yeah.
regardless of his boo boo face about the fans hating him. And I'm going to tell you what, is it shitty for Cleveland fans to boo a torn Achilles? Yes. Is it shitty for Deshaun Watson to have no accountability whatsoever of the kind of person he is? Oh, yeah. Um, but I don't think this is a surprise to anybody on this program. I am a Shador guy. And I think he showed way more promise in the games he started yesterday behind the worst offensive line in the league with absolutely zero weapons around him than anybody else they started last year, including Dylan Gabriel, who they started before Shador Sanders. So I don't know if this was a uh anti-Shador thing, but why draft him in the position you drafted him? Keep him on the roster for the whole year. Let him start the last 7 games or 5 games of the year with the message being like, he's the guy. And this is Stefanski saying it, but he's the guy. He's so much better than Dylan Gabriel at this point. We have to make him our starter. To have Deshaun Watson come back, I'm not there. I'm not in the facility, but I have to imagine Shador looks better than Deshaun Watson in practice. And I just don't understand the move. It's just, I would rather get my value or see what my value is for this $230 million rather than say we have a second year kid who has a little bit of promise.
Hmm.
It's just ridiculous. And this is, if you wanted to talk about a guy who may be one and done, this is your one. Um, One, because of the team he plays for, who again are maybe a little too quick to make a move at quarterback and coach. In all actuality, Tim, the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns should be Baker Mayfield, but organizationally they fumbled that one big time.
Yeah, I don't think he'll get fired, but he wasn't good. The Ravens offense wasn't good the past 2 years either. Like I know we were blaming John Harbaugh for
Well, I
not
mean,
handing
we
the
already
ball to Derrick
touched on it.
Henry,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
like he's the OC.
I get that, but
I just
their offense is heavily based around one guy. That's why I'll push back on the Dable thing. Like Dable and Todd Monken never ever drew up a play that says break containment from your all-world quarterback, get free, make a ridiculous throw off your back foot and throw a strike to somebody 40 yards down the field. That's Josh Allen and that's Lamar Jackson doing that.
mm,
Like there's certain schemes you can put in, but those guys have to like too much coverage and the ends are rushing up the field. Lamar will tuck the ball and run, so will Josh Allen. That's not an offensive coordinator. That is your
I know.
quarterback doing that.
Yeah, I'm out on Todd Monken. I'm out on the Browns. The Browns fall into the Raiders category for me. And not a close third are the Falcons, who are also running through coaches.
Yeah, they are. They've had a lot. Dan Quinn, was it Arthur Smith?
Arthur Smith, the OC for the Steelers,
Yeah, and
D'Amico
now it's
Ryans. No, not D'Amico Ryans. His name. I saw him in Maine. We ate at the same restaurant.
oh
I don't know.
Raheem. No, no. Oh my
Raheem
gosh,
Morris.
what is it? Yeah, Raheem
Raheem
Morris. Yeah.
Morris.
Yeah. So, anyways, Raiders, Falcons, Browns. We don't know. We're low. Another guy, offensive guy, got promoted. Joe Brady with the Bills. Tim, kind of credited of turning their season around 2 years ago when he took over as the OC. Um, Sean McDermott, who wasn't a terrible coach, got fired because he couldn't get over the hump of the playoffs which is such a weird thing, right? You win so many AFC East titles. Last year he didn't win it, obviously, but then you go in and you lose playoff games, and it's just like, well, he can't get it done. Like, I don't know if he can't get it done or it's just that's football, but when he came on after the Broncos game and he said, I can't believe you lose a playoff game on a call like that, like it was the right call. It's not
Are
like
we talking
the
about the pass
LA
interference interception?
the interception, yeah.
I
I
disagree.
but all right, well, you're wrong because in no footage ever did any official or anybody come out and say that was the wrong call, we messed up, because it's the right call. You have to survive the ground in the NFL. It's the Calvin Johnson rule or the Des Bryant rule,
Des
whatever it is.
Bryant.
And either way, for him to come out and bitch about the refs like he did, that's probably the last image that Bill's ownership was just like, get this guy out of here. Um, but I don't know. Joe Brady does have the best quarterback in the world. So there's obviously a long leash for him. And, the Bills play in a division where it's kind of back to being they're the top dogs in it. I know the Patriots are there, but the Patriots have a wildly different schedule this year. And I'm sure we're going to get to that when we get to the culture guys. But I don't mind this Joe Brady thing as much as other people do, because it was a pretty stagnant offense last year for the Bills. They didn't really blow you away. They only blew you away on games where
Josh
Josh Allen
Allen.
had 6 touchdowns.
Right, and he was the OC, so how does this make it different?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's the problem. Like you didn't change anything. Sean McDermott wasn't the play caller. You said the offense is stagnant, now you just promoted the play caller. I When a team is falling apart in the playoffs, which I wouldn't really say they fell apart, Josh Allen hasn't had great playoff game history. And I think you have to change everything if that's what you're going to do. Promoting the offensive coordinator and just getting rid of the head coach, I don't think changes much.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
But maybe it's a fresh voice. Well, it's not fresh, but it's a similar voice in a different position. Who knows? I think the Bills are on the downside of that mountain. even though Josh Allen's the best quarterback in the NFL. They're treating
Yeah.
him like Brady from what, 2011 to 2017, where it was like he's so good he doesn't need the talent around him. And they have
Yeah.
Dalvin Cook and they have Dawson Knox, and but they, I guess now they just traded for the wide receiver from the Bears,
James Cook.
James Cook. Who's the wide receiver they got too? He was on the
I don't know. No,
Bears, and before that he
no,
was on
nothing.
Carolina.
DJ
Nothing.
Moore, nothing really hops out there. I know. I like
He's the
DJ Moore. He's a
best wide
professional
receiver they've
guy, but
had in
yeah,
2 years.
sure.
So
Seems like a real. Every time they get a wideout, it's just like they either get hurt or it's just like I remember the last like good wideout was like Peerless Price, but like um yeah, I mean I still think the Bills are good. They're going to compete for the AL East and possibly the AFC. I've said
no, I
AL East,
agree. I
the
just
AFC
don't think.
East.
I think that they're on the down slope.
Sure, a lot of people out here saying their championship window closed, but you know we'll
I don't
see.
think your window closes when you have the best quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, neither do I. Next up on the list here, Tim, we probably pick up the pace.
Yeah, we gotta go fast.
Jesse, let's pick up the pace the next three because here's three I just don't know anything about.
I
Jesse
agree.
Minter to the Ravens, Jeff Hafley to the Dolphins, Mike LaFleur to the Cardinals. All I can say is Mike LaFleur probably has the best roster with some of those young draft picks and Jacoby Brissett. But actually, Jesse Minter and the Ravens has the best roster. Sorry.
What?
Um, and Jeff Hafley signed Malik Willis as his quarterback. So
And then traded Jalen Waddle, their only wide receiver.
I don't understand what they're doing down there. Didn't Tyreek Hill get traded too? Or
I
wants out or
don't.
something like that?
I don't think he re-signed. I thought he was a free agent.
Oh, geez. Is he hurt? Either way, not about Tyreek
He
Hill,
is hurt.
but
His leg exploded on national television.
mm,
Yeah, I agree with the last three. Jesse Minter, I guess, is in the best position. I don't think the Cardinals are going to be good at all. I watched a clip of Marvin Harrison in training camp, and he drops 12 balls in a row, and they're hitting him in the hands.
yeah, he
And I
was
know it's
talk
cut
about it.
together, but either way, that's a bad day.
Yeah, talk about a guy that was really high coming out
But he was
of the
awesome at
draft.
Ohio State,
Yeah, I mean that doesn't
also
matter.
playing with Jermaine Smith on the other side is similar to the.
I like Jeremiah Love. But I mean, Michael Wilson came on as probably one of the best receivers in football over the last 10 weeks of the year last year. And Jacoby Brissett just gets the ball there. I
Yeah.
mean, he's one of those guys who like understands how to play quarterback.
So
All right, so nothing really there. I think Jesse Minter, let me just tell you something. Pound the rock with Derrick Henry, man. That's it.
that's it.
That's all you got to do. Give Derrick Henry the football. I didn't
Yeah.
understand all last year where the Ravens had these every other drive, there was a new running back in, and it was like Derrick Henry has 1,600 yards on the season. Like
Just give him
then
the ball.
the last game of the year when they needed to win, he ran for 250 and four touchdowns because they just kept running the football.
I will say when they played the Patriots, and I don't even know the other running back's name, but you'd see him in the backfield, and you're like, all right,
Oof, thank goodness.
yeah,
Because Derrick
interesting
Henry was running
approach. Two
all over the
minutes left.
Patriots that game. Yeah.
2 minutes left in the third quarter, and you're
I
losing. But
remember I
hey,
posted something where I'm just like, I guess John Harbaugh is refusing Derrick Henry services right now. Okay, so that's it on the new faces, new places. We got to speed this up,
yeah,
but we're almost done. We're probably halfway done here. This one, Tom has improved the team. Everyone is safe. I have to agree with him on all these rankings here. Um, let's run through them real quick, Tim, and let's pick out. There's six guys here. Let's pick out anybody we want to single out or talk about. Ben Johnson on the Bears, Dave Canales on the Panthers, Kellen Moore on the Saints, Brian Schottenheimer with the Cowboys, Liam Cohen of the Jaguars, Jim Harbaugh of the Chargers.
what my so what did Jim Harbaugh improve with the Chargers? Because Justin Herbert still sucks in the playoffs.
Hmm. I would say the Chargers.
Were they
Now,
better?
granted, yeah, they were better. I would say they were better. This should actually be one of the culture guys.
Yeah.
Uh, because he's a hardo and he loves to run. I mean, Omarion Hampton had a great year last year. They ran the ball more, took a lot of pressure off Justin Herbert, and defensively, they started the queasy feeling in my stomach the entire playoff run when those defensive ends were eating the tackles for the Patriots alive.
Mm,
And I think
that
it'll be
was
more of that. And now he's coaching in a division that may or may not have whatever level of Patrick Mahomes we see. Like, so I would say the Chargers are the best team in the AFC West.
I
Oh wait, no, Broncos play over there. Never mind. It's tough. It's a tough
Broncos.
one with the Broncos. Yeah.
I
But
mean,
I would
they've
say
had two
Jim
number two
Harbaugh's.
finishes since he's
I don't think,
taken
but
over.
he said they improved the team and everyone's safe. I definitely agree. They're not firing Jim Harbaugh. No way.
Okay, okay. If that is, then yes. Um,
And then the other part of it too is his offensive line
yeah.
fell apart probably worse than anybody else's.
In
If
the
he has
preseason.
that, yeah, if he has that offensive line through the whole year, that's a really formidable team.
Yep.
There is a guy here, Tim, that I want to call out that I think might be the coach of the year this year. And it might be a little shocking because I think this team's going to be good.
Can I guess
Uh,
who it is?
yeah, go for it.
You are gonna say you're not gonna say Kellen Moore.
No,
So I'm going Liam Cohen.
I am not going Liam Cohen, although I do think he's good. Brian Schottenheimer, Tim.
Oh, see, he was the one I would put on the hot seat out of all those. If you don't
Really?
if you don't perform in Dallas, they're gonna fire you. That's
Not
just
in
a
the
fact.
second. Tom has improved the team. I picked the Cowboys to finish fourth in the NFC East last year. I didn't think they were anything. And then he got a resurgent season out of Pickens.
Yeah,
Dak is one of the top five quarterbacks in the league. And I
agreed.
think that CeeDee Lamb goes off with having Pickens there. He also got Rico Dowdle to play out of his ass. Like, I think Schottenheimer's a good offensive coach.
I agree. I just think that if they don't have a playoff year, then they're gonna go to Schottenheimer.
I don't think, I think he's safe. I agree with all these six. Like, I don't think anybody here is going to get fired. I think Ben Johnson has a chance to be coach of the year too.
Yeah.
Obviously improved Caleb Williams. Year two of that, and I think he understands defense a little bit more, and the Bears got better on defense. So Dave Canales, I don't think he's going to get fired, but that's another. Dave Canales and Kellen Moore are two guys who are offensive guys who moved into a head coaching role, and keep calling the plays. Don't give that up because I think Kellen Moore really helped Shah, and I think Shah is going to be better. So I think all of these six have a good chance to make the playoffs. All right, here's one that we don't agree with, Tim. I'm just moving to the next category.
Yeah.
Um, culture guys. Dan Campbell, Mike Vrabel, Nick Sirianni. I
I'm
think Mike
con
Vrabel, as the defending coach of the year, brings a little bit more than just culture. He does bring the accountability, except in his personal life, off-season stuff. Um, but I didn't like the fact that Mike Vrabel said after the game, "We're not a deep team." That's usually something a culture guy doesn't say to his team.
mm.
Um, that was a weird thing to say. I don't actually that is kind of make me nervous about this season. Like I don't think Coach Vrabes uh
Maybe it was a
is
motivational
super.
tactic.
Yeah, that's what Hunter Henry said yesterday, but I just don't think that's something a culture guy would say about his team. A culture guy would say about his team is Dan Campbell, like we're cannibals, we're gonna eat your kneecaps or something like that. Like uh I do agree with Nick Sirianni is a culture guy, but I also think that Nick Sirianni is I
What
don't
was
know,
good
man. I
about the
just don't know
Eagles
what kind
culture
of
the
coach you're
past two
gonna get.
years?
Yeah, it wasn't great. I mean, from all accounts, Hertz and AJ Brown like barely talk to each other. So I don't know how true that is. I think a lot gets blown out of proportion there, but I do think that if you're labeled a culture guy, you got to have a little bit more of a lid on the situation.
Um, so now that I'm looking at this list again, this isn't Tom ranking them.
No.
No.
This is Tom tearing him up.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think Sirianni has a good culture. I like Dan Campbell,
I do
and
too.
I think Vrabel brings more to the table than just culture.
I would say that Dan Campbell, though, is he didn't have a great year last year, and he's got a ton of talent, including maybe the best offensive player in football right now, Jahmyr Gibbs. Um, I don't know how long his leash is going to be after another bad season. Like, I don't think he's going to get fired this year, but he did
Oh,
turn the Lions around. But at the same time, like now the Lions expect to compete in a tough division.
yeah. And one
So
thing about culture, guys, is it works in the beginning, but once you start losing, it goes away fast. And
exactly. Then you get guys who are tired of you and who don't want to hear it, and bigger stars get up there and be like, I don't know what he's doing, and it starts to really affect it.
all right.
All right, now we're rolling. We did two categories in 10 minutes. Look at us.
The first three took us
This
an hour.
yeah, this is well, a lot to say about those coaches. Really good at one side of the ball. Um, let's just get the defensive guy out of the way, and then we'll go to the offensive guys here. He's got D'Amico Ryans of the Texans.
Mhm.
Um, Terrific
What
at
side of the
coaching
ball is
defense.
he talking about when he refers to Sean Payton?
Well, offense, obviously, but let's focus on D'Amico Ryans for a second.
Okay.
Because the Texans just traded with the Patriots to bring in Kayshon Boutte, and Tim kind of worked the Patriots in that trade. I think Kayshon Boutte is one of the more underrated guys in football. He caught a lot of deep balls from Drake May, which is the best part of Drake May's game.
Hmm.
Um, and they got a safety
Jalen
to a
Reed.
group Jalen Reed, thank you, to a group that has a good amount of talented defensive backs, and then a seventh round pick. Which I mean, unless they really love Reed, I don't. I think the Patriots kind of got fleeced on that deal. Um,
I
but
think it
D'Amico
was more
Ryan's,
so making room in the wide receiver room, which I don't
yeah,
think
I
I
get it.
agree with.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
AJ
yeah.
Brown and Dobbs, like Booty wasn't, he's not a slot guy. You got Douglas there, you got Matt Collins. I just think it was more so. And Booty won the contract that they weren't going to give
Hmm.
him. So I think it was just maybe Jalen Reed's good. Maybe that's just
Yeah, I think they must like him a lot, um, but I think that D'Amico Ryan's needs some help at offense because I think he's a good coach. And he always gets to the playoffs. Again, he's one of the guys where it's like, how far is CJ Stroud going to take you? I mean, CJ Stroud wasn't a good weather game, but I mean, really turned in a lemon of a performance against the Patriots
it was
when
fun to watch because he couldn't even drop back.
I understand that. Yes, it was, but at the same time, it was not fun to watch from the view of all this guy needs to do is make one play. The
Yeah.
Patriots are done. Um, because it was equally as hard to watch offensively for the Patriots, who did not have a good game. Although, and if you're playing four-dimensional chess, the only guy who has beat Stingley on deep balls is Kayshon Boutte,
Yeah.
and they just like, no, no, no. Now he plays on our team.
Yeah.
All
I
right, so now we'll go to the offensive guys here and the really good one side of the ball. Kyle Shanahan, Kevin O'Connell, Matt LaFleur, and Tom has Sean Payton here. Um, so maybe he's just a huge fan of the Kevin James movie.
where he takes over the high school team.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a
Kevin
good
James,
film.
Taylor Lautner. It's not great.
It's everything you would expect out of it.
Yeah, really. I feel like they wrote it in 15 minutes, and then they were just like, let's grab some cameras.
Let's sell
Yeah,
this to
I know Kevin
Netflix.
James. He's coming. He's coming. I promise. He's coming.
Um, yeah, I mean, I would put I don't know, like Tom has best of the best. Are you gonna put Sean Payton in best of the best?
Absolutely not. I'm not a Sean Payton guy.
This guy is a
I'm a Drew
legend.
Brees guy.
I mean, the Broncos won the AFC West.
Yeah,
They had
with
a top five defense. I don't know what
down year from the AFC West. They have a very good defense. Um, Tom is admittedly not a Bo Nix guy, so it's weird that he put Bo Nix's coach on the really good at one side of the ball. Historically, sure, pretty good offensive play caller. Um, I don't think he's on the level of a Kyle Shanahan, Kevin O'Connell, or Matt LaFleur in terms of offense. But I would also question like Matt LaFleur has a pretty
I was
middling
gonna
offense in
say,
the
what's
Packers.
going on? He's the perfect. I have seven number two wide receivers. We talked about this when we talked about Jordan Love 2 weeks ago. Like,
Yeah.
is Christian Watson going to be healthy?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if that even matters. Is Matthew Golden going to progress is probably the bigger question.
I saw Matthew
Um,
Golden get his head taken off yesterday.
oof,
Did
it's
you
a
see
rough
that punt
sport.
return? He caught a punt and
Oh
did an
no, I didn't
immediate
see it.
spin move and just
Yeah.
got crushed.
Yeah, number one wideout shouldn't catch punts. uh,
I will say though, to touch on one or two, I guess. Kyle Shanahan, he just produces offense.
he does. He's a little prick though, but I think he gets it. He offensively, he really understands how to call him up. Um,
In the second one, Kevin O'Connell, I know you and Tom were both down on Kyler. I think the Vikings are going to be good.
I think Tom was up on Kyler. I don't. I wasn't. I just don't see him. I see a second baseman when I look at Kyler Murray, Tim. Like
I'm looking
I
at the
don't.
track record. You got Sam Darnold went through there, won a Super Bowl. Daniel
Yeah,
Jones went through there.
sure, sure.
Like he revives careers.
He's a quarterback whisperer for sure.
Not JJ McCarthy.
You don't know that. He's still young. He's only like 22.
Well, I think he's older, but
I mean, Sam Darnold should be the absolute poster child of don't give up too quickly.
hmm Ed Baker,
Yeah. Well, yeah, Baker was a little better than Darnold was. Darnold was seeing ghosts, Tim.
Gino.
Um,
Didn't Gino go through Kevin O'Connell? No, he didn't.
no, he did not. Um,
Mac Jones.
so I mean, anything else here? Matt LaFleur and Sean Payton. I don't really know. I think Matt LaFleur can dial it up, but I think he's limited by his wide receiving core. So I mean, I like Jordan Love and I like Matt LaFleur, and I don't think they're going to get rid of him anytime soon, even though people call for it a lot. I worked with some Packers fans who were just like, this guy needs to go, and I'm like, I don't think you're that far
Out
away
of
yet.
that five names, LaFleur is most likely to get fired, in my opinion.
Yeah, sure.
I don't think I'm
Well,
really going out on a limb.
I mean, if Kyler doesn't work, Kevin O'Connell can wind up there too. Like by all accounts, the 49ers weren't going to do anything in that loaded NFC West, and they almost won the division. So Kyle Shanahan's safe, even though he had a up and down offseason, let's say that.
And his face
Uh,
was broken, I think, right?
what's that?
Didn't he just get into a car accident?
Yeah. Um, so this guy is a legend. Nothing is happening to him, but dot 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 is the name of the category, and it's Andy Reid of the Chiefs. Um, yeah,
Yeah, I would say they haven't really. I would say
it's going to be a
they.
tough year for the Chiefs. I think it's going to be even tougher than last year. Um, I can't believe Travis Kelce came back. I don't know when Mahomes is going to play, but it's not going to be to open the season. And I just don't know. I think you might see Kelsey and Reed maybe retire after this year.
I would say,
So I don't see Andy Reid ever getting fired, but I also don't see him coaching for the next 5 years. I think he's in his 70s. So I
yeah,
could be
I
wrong on that.
agree. I don't think they would fire him, but I don't think he's. I guess I do agree. This guy's a legend. Nothing's going to happen, but he could retire.
He's 68 years old. So um I don't know how long he's going to keep doing it. And last year, even with Mahomes, and they tried to bring in, granted, he got hurt early, but like they haven't had wide receiver help since Tyreek was there. And
hmm
the offense hasn't looked explosive since Tyreek Hill was there. But it is Mahomes. So like you have that factor. But
They were
if he's only
missing the
going to play like,
playoffs last year before Mahomes got hurt.
Yeah, of course. Well, it was in the game that they needed to win to like stay alive, or maybe they had just gotten eliminated. But yeah, which is even like insult to injury because like at that point now you're just losing him for maybe half of this year.
Yeah.
All right, let's round this bad boy out. The best of the best Tom has. I don't think he's far off at all. Um, I might add the two-time defender or the defending but two-time overall coach of the year, Mike Vrabel to this. Uh, the best of the best is Sean McVay and Mike Macdonald of the Seahawks. Mike Macdonald won a Super Bowl, had a really good season on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
And I think if you ask any owner or any fan base, 32 out of 32 people would say they'd like to have Sean McVay as the head coach of their team.
You would take McVay over Vrabel? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Sean McVay with Drake May as an
Oof.
offensive mind.
Yeah.
I
And the
just you
weapons.
can't pass that up. I think Sean McVay is going to be one of the best to ever do it when it's all said and done. He started out real hot. He's still a lot younger than a lot of the other coaches in the league. Um, and yeah, I think he's the guy. And I like Mike Macdonald a lot too. I think McDonald is the perfect blend of offense and defense. But McVay just if McVay's better at defense than a lot of people give him credit for. And now he has
Is that just because
Miles Garrett,
he goes out
Aaron
and gets the
Donald, and
best players?
it's the LA thing to do, I guess. But you trade your younger good players for more established great players.
They got
Um,
Trent McDuffie this offseason too,
yeah,
who's a top five cornerback.
don't really know about the draft pick, but the first round draft pick was a little crazy. But you got Matt Stafford there. I think he's Sean McVay's guy, and I think McVay is Stafford's guy. So perfect match there. But I think I would put him number one in my coach rankings. But I would add Vrabel to this list for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe, if the designer of the list could have come on the show, he could have maybe explained his thinking.
All right. Well, we don't need to bring that back up. We're like an hour and 10 minutes in.
Yep. All right.
So that does it for our list here. The tiers. I think we ended strong. We didn't do 1 through 32 here. That would have somehow taken us even more time. But just to run through this list again, afraid to hear the phone ring. We have Zach Taylor, Todd Bowles, Dan Quinn, Aaron Glenn, Shane Steichen. New faces and new places: Robert Saleh, Mike McCarthy, John Harbaugh, Clint Kubiak, Stefanski, Todd Monken, Joe Brady, Jesse Minter, Jeff Halfley, Mike LaFleur. Improve the team. Everyone is safe. Ben Johnson, Dave Canales, Kellen Moore, Brian Schottenheimer, Liam Cohen, Jim Harbaugh. The culture guys: Dan Campbell, Mike Vrabel, Nick Sirianni. Really good at one side of the ball: D'Amico Ryans, Kyle Shanahan, Kevin O'Connell, Matt LaFleur, Sean Payton. The guy is a legend. Nothing is happening to him, but Andy Reid. I bet the butt there is, just to rehash this, I bet the butt there is he washed? Is he a little washed, Tim? Might be. And then best of the best, Sean McVay, Mike Macdonald. Um, well, that does it for today's episode. Hopefully Tom will join us for the other podcast that he scheduled. Um, which is our next one is going to be hold please, hold please, hold please.
It's position groups, top five.
Yeah, top five lists of different groups: wide receivers, defensive, cornerbacks. And then 9-6, September 6th, before the big game, well, before the first big game of the year, the prediction show.
Hold on to your
And that's when
hats.
we get to hear that's when we get to hear Tim say the Patriots are going to win 15 games.
I
All
mean,
right, Tim, anything else to add on the coaches?
no, I'm good.
Do you, like George Costanza, sometimes think you could coach in the NFL?
I No, I don't think so.
No. I don't think you're a culture guy.
I would lean less on culture, more on talent.
You know what I'd like to do? I'd like to be the guy that gets a stack of tapes and be like, we need 1,000 word analysis on offensive tackles. I'd be like, okay,
I
I'll
can
do
do
that.
that. I have a TV.
Exactly.
I
I'd
have
be
a
down to do
notebook.
that. All right, Timothy. Well,
All
hey,
right.
good talking to you.
Yeah.
We'll see you back. And great job hosting. You did
Thank
a
you.
great job.
First time hosting, a lot of pressure. Um, let's hope that this upload goes well.
Yeah. Let's hope people hear this.
If not, you guys are missing out.
All right. Bye, Tim.
Bye.